remember 10 years ago when he was out in the trenches fighting with a kid, talking about how he was high as hell, looking like them James Brown memes with the crazy hair.
Hello, friends. We're back for Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What up, Anastasia? How you doing?
And if you've never been here before, welcome. We do a cross-section of pop culture in real life. And today we are coming to you with a pop culture hodgepodge. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We're here for you multiple times a week. So,
Please do.
We're going to get started. Honeypot is being acquired. If you've been here before, you know that we've talked extensively about the M&A space as it relates to Black businesses. I know a lot of people have feelings about Black businesses selling out, and I don't share those feelings.
I don't know.
I'm happy for them. I'm happy for Black founders to be able to cash out and have peace. That's what I'm happy about. What say you?
I feel the same thing. The only thing that I would say that I'm concerned about is the possibility of the quality of the products changing. That we've already seen that happen once before, so my hope is that it doesn't change any further than it already has.
Yeah.
But outside of that, more power to them, and I am very ecstatic to see her go off and get to the bag. Basically,
Love it. So, do you have Liv?
Yes. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, I can read that.
Yeah, barely. You are a little soft. Speak up a little bit more, boo.
Can you guys hear me better?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, y'all, if you are not new here, then you know our good intern Liv, who would come and talk to us about all things pop culture and keep us with the youth them and all the things that are current for them. So, sister girl, what do you have for us this week?
So we're just gonna start off strong, and I'm pretty sure everyone's probably abreast on, the Katt Williams story, the interview that he did at Club Shay Shay with Uncle Shannon like I said, Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. He kind of like called all the comedians out front and center. When I say all the comedians, I mean comedians from Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Faison Love. It was just so many. Tiffany Haddish, like he definitely, brought in the new year with a bang. For sure. I have a couple quotes from Katt Williams. He even touched on like the Jonathan Majors trial. As we know, he was found guilty. I want to say right before the new year, he was found guilty.
Was it before or was it right after?
He was right after.
What were you saying, Ken? I'm sorry.
We were trying to figure out if it was before or right after. I know he did that interview on ABC or NBC. I always get those channels confused. But child, we gonna get to Jonathan Majors. We ain't there yet, but we gonna get there.
So thoughts on Katt Williams real quick. I feel like it was a lot of, old school Southern girlies. It was a lot of hit dogs hollering on this one because yes, he did call them to the carpet, but also like if y'all would just shut up, then things just will go away. But everybody felt a need to just say their piece, and I don't know if that was wise.
I agree with you on that one. And the other thing too that I thought it was just me, but when I was watching that 2 hour and 40 some odd minute video, because it was hilarious. The thing that stood out to me was he kept saying that, they just keep saying that I'm on drugs. But I'm like, I remember 10 years ago when he was out in the trenches fighting with a kid, talking about how he was high as hell, looking like them James Brown memes with the crazy hair. So I'm like, and don't misunderstand, I am a Katt Williams stan. I love Katt Williams. He is hysterically funny to me and has always been. So, but like to sit here and say that you don't be on the stuff or were never on anything, and you told us that you were. That video on Twitter eons ago, like you told us face deadpan to the cam that you was high as hell.
Yeah, that does not seem to track.
And so many people from different podcasts and or like social media outlets have made mention of this same video that I'm talking about. If you are of a certain age, you was on Twitter back then and know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when Katt Williams was in the street with his white T-shirt on, just looking crazy.
Yeah.
Just looking crazy.
Yeah.
But not only did he go in on a couple comedians, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with that viral video that's been going around of Katt Williams, where he was like, "I never went to prison. I went to jail." There's
which is accurate, honestly.
I mean, he ain't lying. He said he always be in jail, but he get out.
Correct. He has multiple mugshots. He kind of explained what made him go kind of left in that moment. He also spoke on the Taraji P. Henson. As we know, Taraji P. Henson came forward speaking about unfair wages in Hollywood. And he actually supported Taraji P. Henson and actually said that we actually put too much pressure on Tyler Perry because basically dissing him, saying all he can do is put a woman in a dress. So
everybody's getting hit with stray bullets.
Take on a lot of things is very interesting.
But for what it's worth, and I am no Tyler Perry fan, honest to God, I'm not. He gets on my nerves so bad. He has been known to pay these actors what they are worth, and above and beyond what they're worth in the current capacity to like what they should have been getting paid long ago. So I think Taraji is on record as saying like her working with him is like one of her highest paying jobs. Same for Cicely Tyson, where she was in all of these huge movies back in the day and was getting paid peanuts, and Tyler Perry brought her in and paid her a shit ton of money because that's what she was worth, you know what I mean? So for all of his shortcomings, he does give back in a real meaningful way. And I will say the whole Taraji P. Henson versus Vivica Fox thing, which I don't think it was necessarily a versus thing, but I just felt like it could have been handled better. So if you haven't been keeping up, they tracked Vivica Fox down basically, and she said, well, that wasn't my experience, like to each his own. And sometimes I'm just like, it costs you nothing to like validate someone else's experience, or at least just stay out of the conversation. Like this conversation has been going since Monique, since all kinds of Black women in the spaces being like, yeah, they put us against each other, then they pay us peanuts, and like this is what this industry is. And like she's not the first person to say it. So why would you come out and say something that's kind of to the contrary of her point at this moment? Like, what was the point of that?
Right. I think it was also like they caught her off guard and she felt the need to have to say something.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, it was just kind of like the thing that was off-putting for me was the flippant end of it where she just was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's like, girl.
It's like, but there's a lot of people who aren't. And
to the point of like we're talking about are Black stars. The reality is if you are not nationally famous, then you just Black people famous, and unfortunately you're not going to get the pay that you seem to think that you are earned because you're in the same category. There's different categories. You have A-list actors and then you have everybody else. You know what I mean? And I think that, and not to say that Taraji is not an A-list actor, but she's not on the level of like I would even possibly put Angela Bassett in the A-list category for some of the projects and films that she has done. When I think of those who are going to get that type of money, I'm thinking of like Denzel and Will Smith and Halle Berry. Like they are Black people famous, but they're also nationally famous.
Right.
So they're getting the checks. So we assume. Yeah. Like I know, well, for Will, for sure. I don't know about Halle so much because the women, there's not so many nationally famous women Black women that I know of.
Yeah. And then Liv, I think we have a story about Angela Bassett while we're right here.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. She actually won an Oscar. Finally, she definitely is well overdue and definitely deserves it. As you know, the Oscars was just a few days ago on the 10th, and she was honored with an Oscar. for what I believe is, sorry, Best Supporting Actress. So yeah.
What film was this? Do we know?
Well, I think she got an honorary Oscar.
Yeah.
Oh,
She got an honorary Oscar.
that
Yeah.
sounds,
I'm assuming for her overall career. Let me pull it up.
Right.
oh my, that sounds very throwaway. Like they
Yeah,
wanted to make sure they sprinkled some black in there so
Yeah.
it doesn't, it's not another Oscar so white event.
totally. And then actually, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, Ken, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Keke Palmer actually won an Emmy. You have written
Yeah,
down.
I saw that too. Keke Palmer and the Emmy.
Yeah, she won an Emmy for, she actually won an Emmy. Sorry, guys, my throat was kind of getting choked up. For first game show host in 15 years, which is pretty exciting. You know, Keke Palmer, that's our girl. I kind of root for her. So, in 15 years, so I think she kind of did her thing. You know, she's been hustling for a long time, so it was definitely well deserved.
We love that.
Keke Palmer, keep a job, honey. I know that's
Man,
right.
listen.
That's right.
And then while we're talking about TV hosts, let's go to Don Lemon.
Oh man, Don, he is actually coming back with his own show. It's going to start on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. But
Okay.
before we get into that, we know Don was actually fired back in April of 2023 from CNN.
Yeah.
And I actually have a quote from Don Lennon about his show. It's called the Don Lennon Tonight. That's the new show, the new name of the show. Excuse me. And the quote is, "He's back, bigger, bolder, and freer." And this show that he's putting on a platform is basically where we can have conversations and debates without the hall monitors. So,
Okay.
What network is this going to be on, or we don't know that part yet?
You said it's on X, so it's going to be a live show, right? Yeah, like a stream.
That's so confusing.
They've been trying to push for this for a while. This is a part of their strategy of moving forward, I think, as a company, or for Elon Musk to try to make some money off of this platform, is to like have these live shows. Tucker Carlson, Jesus, why can't I ever say that? Also had like a live moment on there too, where they were trying to give him a show as well. We don't have this on the list, but let's talk quickly about Angela Rye and the People
Native Land Pod, yes.
And with Angela Rye, who's the third person?
Angela Rye, Andrew Gilliam,
and then
Tiffany
Cross.
Yes.
Yes, because she got fired from MSNBC not too long ago, so that makes sense.
What?
Yeah, I think she got let go. No,
I know that. The way they were talking on that first episode, it's like she's still a part of the show. So maybe.
Okay, maybe I made that up. Hold on.
Don't start me the line. I am just here for having Angela Rye back in my my streams, period.
Okay.
Point blank. I enjoy her commentary. I think she is very, very educated, funny, and very much for the culture.
Okay.
I'm interested to see what the connection is with Andrew Gilliam and how he's gonna be a part, because he's been so far into the obscurity of life that we don't know anything about what's been going on with him. And the way that the podcast is kind of laid out, because I did listen to the first episode, they basically do politics at the top, pop culture somewhere in the middle, and then toward the end of the show they do like a, where have we been, and like, final thoughts type conversation. So I'm interested to listen to next week's conversation, if it is his story, or most likely he'll probably be the one they save for last because his was such a scandal. But I'm curious, like,
I'd actually like to see him not talk about it at all.
No, I don't want to hear we know what happened in terms of what was put into the news. They are basically talking about like what happened with them internally, what the aftermath was, what putting their life together after the fact looked like. The story that Angela shared in the first one, I totally did not see that coming. And so like, yeah, it's definitely worth the follow and the listen if you if you're not one to subscribe to podcasts, I would just go listen to the episode anywhere podcasts are heard.
Okay.
It's really, really interesting.
I will definitely take a listen to that. And I'm curious about Andrew Gilliam. We had a side conversation about this. I'm always happy to give people a second chance in their area of expertise. Like, I wouldn't trust them to run my life, but you know, for a political perspective, I think he's probably still very relevant and intelligent. And I voted for him because I'm in Florida. So, and I'd probably vote for him again, honestly. So it's what it is.
I'm just curious to get to know him on a larger platform outside of the scandal that happened to him. So
yeah,
because watching the few snippets that we got when he was running a few years ago, he seemed really interesting and powerful. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And Tiffany is new to me. I don't know anything about her.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about her either. And then I think the last two topics we have for this conversation is the Las Vegas judge that was attacked and a Vice President Antoinette Bonnie Candia-Bailey, who
Bonnie Bailey, from Lincoln University.
From Lincoln University. Where you want to start? You want to do Las Vegas judge first?
Child, that shit was crazy.
That was crazy. So earlier a couple of weeks ago, in Las Vegas, a felon who was already there in court, he was already there trying to be sentenced. His name is, I may pronounce this wrong, Gabor Ridden.
That's what it looked like. I said that is what it looks like, so don't seem like it's wrong to me.
Yeah. He actually leaped over and attacked a Las Vegas judge while she was sitting on the podium.
But can we talk about how far he had to leap? Like, if you wasn't a criminal, my man, you need to go see if you can get in the NFL. Cause what?
Yeah.
And now they've charged him with attempted murder for that leaping across the bench.
Yeah, because they could not stop him. Once he got over there and got to that poor lady, he was like stomping her out.
Oh, he was stomping her out. Okay, well that makes sense.
Oh yeah, she hit him with 6 additional felonies and additional 7 battery charges. So he is
he's
in for some time.
Yeah. And so then let's talk about Bonnie Bailey.
Yeah, so unfortunately about 5 days ago at Lincoln University, the vice president of student affairs, her name is Antoinette Bonnie Candia-Bailey. She actually committed suicide, unfortunately. And there's kind of been a little bit of investigation going. And allegedly, they're saying that the reason she may have committed suicide is because the president, Dr. John B. Mosley, may have been bullying her and harassing her. A news outlet actually found multiple emails between Dr. Bailey and Dr. Mosley and the board of curators, kind of outlining her request for MFLA and for the ADA. So it kind of said, between and after those emails, a lot kind of went downhill for Dr. Mosley due to her severe depression and anxiety. So Dr. Mosley has actually been put on administrative leave at Lincoln University due to her unfortunately committing suicide.
So, I've heard a lot of conversation. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ken.
No, I'm good, Ken. Yeah.
Okay. I've heard a lot of conversation about how a lot of these spaces, especially these professional spaces, are not safe for Black women, and it's true. As someone who has had to take, medical leave and all of the things because of burnout and stress and all the things, it's like these places are not safe. They're not safe, and you aren't heard. And I hate that this was how the story ended for her, but I hope that it sheds a light on just how poorly Black women are treated. Like, you work so hard, you rise to these levels, to these ranks in your career, and you're still treated very poorly. Case in point, the other professor at Harvard who also was forced to resign.
Because she's being attacked from some right-wing racist Republican.
And that story was interesting too, because I found it very ironic that it was the 3 schools that had women in power, that they are the ones that they hauled over to Capitol Hill. I'm not sure that there were any other schools that had any issues going on, but I imagine that those were not the only 3 schools or the only 3 people responsible for those type of comments with the conflict that's happening right now in the Middle East. So I
think it's just like an agenda to take down, and this is an aside that we don't have to get into, but I feel like it is an agenda to take down the educated African American women in this country because of all of the things that are going on, and also knowing that we tend to be the most educated of our ranks. And so like they're doing away with DEI, they're doing away, like all the things that are happening. It just seems like these are specifically aimed at getting us out of certain spaces.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
unfortunate. So
100%.
we don't have to have a whole conversation around that because we like to keep it light and fun over here. So what is the next story we have on our list?
I think that's all we have for this episode. We're going to come back and do a second episode with all of the relationship chaos that's been happening in the ether as well. So drop down in the comments, let us know about the stories that we talked about, that we discussed here. Oh, by the way, if you made it this far, you probably don't care, but we do try to timestamp everything so you can keep track of everything. But yeah, drop down in the comments, let us know what you thought. If you have any thoughts on any of these stories, and until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Peace out, friends.
Bye.